I'd like to start off on a sad note. The passing of one of the Illini greats this morning, very early. Ted Beach, in my opinion, did something that's very unique. One, played for the same coach through high school and college, state champion, 2 Final Fours, and unbelievably privileged to be around a winner like him. Winning is really hard, and I have tremendous value in the success that Ted had, and obviously lived a great life. But I want everybody to know that Illinois basketball is thinking of him and his family, and a great longtime member of our community. So, and our basketball family. So our thoughts and prayers are with his family. So coming off a good win. I don't want to say great, but good. I thought we handled the environment. I thought we handled a very good Maryland team. I like that team a lot. I think they're very talented. I understand why they were picked, where they were picked in the preseason. They're getting better, and obviously Terrence earned Player of the Week because of a great performance. I thought we got to the foul line. We made free throws. We did some things for that game a little bit differently on the defensive side in terms of the way we handled some coverages. Kind of mixed reviews. I think it helped us win the game, but caused some other problems. I thought we fouled too much, but I thought the job that Terrence did late on Jameer was outstanding. He was 2 for 9 against Terrence, and that's the kind of effort, that's the kind of play hard mentality on every play that you've got to have to win. Then I thought Marcus really stepped up in terms of rebounding the basketball, 12 rebounds. So some positive things, some continued things to continue to work on and grow with. Now we get a Penn State team that we're moving into Rec Hall to play this game, something I know very little about other than it's small and quaint, and I'm sure will help provide a very good home court advantage from a fan's perspective in there. So I've not been in it, I've not seen it other than online, but a team that has a very, very good point guard. Ace is playing great. A team that can turn you over at a high rate. Mike's playing like he did at VCU, pressing, running, and jumping, forcing turnovers, and a team that scores a tremendous amount of points on cuts. They're an elite cutting team. It's always been a trait of Mike's teams is scoring on cuts, and then they've got really good three-point shooters. So a good basketball team. No lead is safe. You've got to play 40 minutes, and we've got to be very, very solid going in there.
You mentioned the mixed reviews defensively. Is there stuff in there that you like that could carry forward?
Maybe.
Is that maybe okay? What did you like about what you guys were able to switch up?
I like Terrence on the ball. I like when we don't give up threes. I like when we bulldog over with tremendous toughness. I thought Justin had some really good moments as well on him. I thought his shots were, Jameer, I thought his shots were hard. It's what made us elite, and we've got to continue to grow and get back to that. I thought we got some long rotations, which I don't like. That affects our rebounding as well as everything else. But there were some things we did that helped us win. and we'll continue to do, but we got to continue to work and get better at it.
How important have some of Justin's late game efforts been? I'm assuming bringing a fifth-year guy with that experience, that's kind of what you had in mind.
Yeah, he was tremendous. The play Marcus DeMosk made, Coleman threw the ball back in and he threw it toward their basket, which is something that we have talked a lot about since. We talked about it before, but especially because he had two guys wide open right in front of him and he just heaved it. But the intelligence of Marcus, who had 4 fouls, there's 3 minutes on the clock, to do what we call a Mozgov, just jump straight up and not foul and force him to make the layup. And then when you see how hard Justin ran, he ran ahead and past Reese, blocked him out, and then collected the rebound and then had the presence to look down the court. Those are winning basketball plays. And I'm convinced 99% of the country probably would have fouled had they been Marcus. But it's something we practice 3-4 days a week, those Mozgovs. It's something we have to continue to implement that, not just in drills, but in the game, but he did it perfect there. And then Justin's effort was great. So, but yeah, Justin's been great. He made some great 2-foot jump stop drives and finishes, and Maryland's a team that doesn't give up threes, so we knew driving the basketball was going to be a big piece of that game, and he was huge for us.
You said it was a good one in Maryland. What's the difference between good and great?
Well, everyone's good. There's some things that I just wasn't very comfortable with in terms of the way we played. We did what we had to do. We were great offensively. I think we were the first team to score 40.5 against them. I think we were their worst DER of the season. And we didn't shoot the ball very well. We got some good looks, but just being able to come away with the win was good. But there were some conceptual things in there and some strategy things in there that I didn't like, and they worked, and some of them worked, but it's not where we want to go long term.
Obviously, their leading scorer is no longer with the program. You have one game of film reference, I guess, last game without him. How are they different, and how does that impact kind of finding that out later in the scouting process, in the middle, I guess?
I don't know how it will impact them. I would assume it's probably going to make them better. Obviously, if you're dismissing somebody, and I don't know the situation at all, points and all that stuff aside, there was probably some challenges. I'm assuming. I don't know, but I just know him from facing him a year ago. The film we've watched this year, he was a guy who could score. He was fast. He was in the paint a lot. He was a pest on the defensive side. They're much bigger without him, and they've got a clear-cut, really good shooter replacing him. So, that's more for them. I'm more worried about the guys that they're putting out there instead of the guys they don't have. But this is a good basketball team, and they've proven that with some of their wins.
You mentioned the offensive performance against Maryland being the worst they gave up on this. When you are kind of clicking at that high level with the metrics you have, where can you still take it?
I think we're 5th. There's 4 more to go. Yeah, we were abysmal, the worst of the year on the offensive glass. We had 4 or 5 offensive rebounds, and we need Ty. We need Terrence Shannon. I have been all over him. Played 39 minutes and had 1 rebound. That's unacceptable for an athlete who's as gifted as he is. But we got to get Coleman back on the offensive glass. We're still one of the top teams in the country. That effort was that moves that number. That keeps moving that. We had some really good looks. We've got to get Luke going again. We've got to get Quincy back on the offensive glass. Those are things that can make this team elite and keep elevating that number and that ranking. But it's nice to have that. Nice to have options, and they come from different guys. But we've still got some things we got to do there.
There's obviously so much to go in the Big Ten race, but things tightened up a little bit over the weekend up top. Do you guys, at what point in the season, I guess, if at all, do you guys talk about that and the opportunity that's there?
Well, I think everybody's aware. I mean, obviously it's Purdue's having a magical season, and obviously a tough situation with Chris at Ohio State, and they were amped and played well. I've always been of the concept, and you guys get tired of my mundane statements, I'm sure, but it's we'll total them up at the end of the year, and we'll see where we're at. And every game is hard, and you want to be healthy, you want to be tough, you want to be connected as you move into postseason play, and those are the things that we're striving to do every day. And you don't get too excited or too down. You just got to try to stay pretty stoic through the whole process of a 20-game league schedule, which can be challenging.
So maybe you've got that down. Is it tougher for the players?
I don't know. I mean, I think we talk about just the everyday guy thing a lot. I think we talk about just getting better every day. We talk, we acknowledge our weaknesses and what we didn't do well before and after every game, and I think it's an opportunity to go out every day and try to get better. And there's nobody in this league laying down, that's for sure. And so, I'm sure they're aware. We don't probably have to talk about it too much. And as much as these kids are on social media today, I'm sure they're pretty aware.
You spend any extra time shooting at a place that's not a full-time basketball arena anymore, or is it?
We will go in tonight. We'll do what we always do. As soon as we get off the plane, we go straight to the arena, and we do just a 20-minute, 30-minute little session where guys, it's very it's casual, but it's more get used to the balls, get used to the lighting, get moving again because you're been sitting on a plane and whatever, and then we'll have our shoot around tomorrow, but we'll treat it no different, and we'll figure out what what it looks like when we get there.
Terrence earns Player of the Week. The offensive numbers are rightfully pointed out, but is there a way to spotlight more what guys do defensively, or do you have at least an internal quantification on what somebody does?
Oh, every day. Every day we have a grading system that we use every game, and it's a 40-minute accountability. Points allowed, points given up on mistakes, and it's. I always go back to the Trent Frazier, Io, Andres Felice. They always wanted to be zeros, which meant the perfect game. No blown scattering reports, no coverages, and how competitive that was. And Terrence strives towards that. He's very competitive that way. So there's a tremendous amount of accountability points that we use, and believe me, we know how valuable. We had a top 10 defense when he's like that. When we play we get everybody playing as hard as he's playing in those moments, then we're a team that I really like. I love our upside. I love our ceiling. And 6'6", 220, being able to fight over ball screens, force the game to be 2-on-2, get 4 blocks with what we call rear view contests. Those are all huge points.
Who's been your closest to zero since you've been here?
Trent had multiple.
Multiple zeros?
Yeah, he had multiple. Trent, we had, I think our Michigan game a couple of years ago, we had 2 scouting report mistakes, which has been the best. And, but Io was competitive, so he wanted to try to match Trent. And Andres Felice was always trying to beat both of them, and it just became a very competitive, within the locker room, within the team room. The accountability piece was huge, and you know, that's what we're always striving for. Is that it's what I push them every day. It's what we talk about post game. Before we moved on to Penn State, we had to clean up Maryland, and those are the things that are on the board and what we're talking about.
Michigan State had a big reunion weekend, and Maryland had a reunion. Now Penn State's going back to Rec Hall for the first time in almost a decade. I feel like they're setting things up to face you in these moments.
It's great to be Illinois. It's great to be Illinois, right? It's great to be Illinois. I haven't forgot what it was like to be 13th or 14th. So it's nice to have other people's attention and respect. Do you have to perform at that level and handle those moments? Absolutely. I mean, 18,000 the other night at Maryland, you know, compared to some of their other games. I like being Illinois.